Hey, Freo fans, you're watching the second instalment of the No Season Show. My name is Brett from the Freo Media team, and this is the show that checks in each and every Thursday with the boys in isolation. We're missing them, and I'm sure you're missing them too. So let's check in with two of them right now. Reece, Conca, Andy Brayshaw. Hey, boys.
Hello,
Brett, how you
Brett.
going?
Out there.
Very well. And a special guest, Albus. Hello to you.
Here he is. You want to bark or something?
Let's start with Albus. He's become basically the most exciting thing on our social media content in the last few weeks. I know you got him a couple months back, Reece. It seems like the perfect time for isolation that this dog's come into your life. What's some of the adventures you've been up to together?
Yeah, Albus is the best little thing. He's incredibly handsome and he's a bunch of fun. So he's keeping me on my toes, which has been good. But yeah, it's been great. He comes down and runs with me at the park, and he's been doing all the exercise and been able to teach him a few tricks, which has been good because I got heaps of time at home. So yeah, he's been a very handy addition to my isolation period.
A bit of similarities looks wise, do we think, Conks?
Yeah, I'm getting that a lot. The golden, ginger, brown, hazel, whatever you want to call it. Most people just say red, but.
And Andy, your dog not allowed upstairs, so I'm told.
Yeah, the family dog can't. Not only is he not allowed upstairs, but he's getting a bit old. He probably couldn't climb up the stairs, so just left him down there.
Let's recap the Easter weekend just gone. Fairly uneventful for most, it may have been. Conk, starting with you, how do you spend the weekend?
Yeah, very quiet. And we had a little bit of an Easter egg hunt around the house, which was good fun. But yeah, other than that, it was relatively quiet. Did a little bit of woodwork out the back, getting a bit hands-on over this period, which is fun. So yeah, otherwise not really too much.
Andy, you're over east, back in Melbourne in the family home. How's it being home, and how's the Easter festivities over the weekend?
Yeah, it's good being home. It's good to see mum and dad, spend a bit of time with them, get a few home-cooked meals, which is sorely missed since moving out. But no, it's been really good. Had some Easter eggs on the weekend. I've been training with my brother Angus just at the local park, so keeping things pretty chilled and ticking off uni at the same time. So things are steadily just ticking along for me.
Thanks, Albus, for that little cameo. Now, Conks, we find you at your place in Perth, isolating with Albus and your girlfriend Annabelle. You did mention the bit of woodwork the other day. Can you talk us through that? And I've also seen a few TikToks floating around. It looks like you're getting more and more into those. What does a typical day in ISO look like for you guys?
Yeah, we're keeping it nice and fun here, keeping it as busy as possible. Annabelle's more in charge of the TikToks than I am. I'm just sort of like a little counterpart in that. But yeah, getting a bit hands-on. When I picked up some wood and been chipping away at some stuff. So yeah, the next coming weeks I'll unveil it to the world and see what they think of it. And
Andy, I do have to ask something with Angus. He's created this Barbie Onions page on Instagram.
Yes.
Can you tell us, everyone, what this is about? Your thoughts on the whole thing, please.
Yeah, so like a lot of us, Angus is getting pretty bored in isolation. And he loves barbecued onions, always has. Not to say that I don't like them. I do enjoy my Barbie onions myself, but yeah, I couldn't really see myself making an Instagram page. So yeah, he's pretty much, him and his girlfriend have just been making content about, you know, what you can cook and add barbecued onions with. So he's taking it, I reckon, a bit too far, but you know, a lot of people are loving it. It's a good laugh, so it's keeping him occupied.
I was going to ask, any chance of hosting a rival show to go up against your brother?
Oh, look, our dad's now starting to film some cooking stuff, sending it to his mates, and Angus is getting stuck into him, saying he's copying him. So I'll probably steer clear of
that. Now, there's no footy, but we're continuing to play the season as it was scheduled with our opposition challenges. You both actually had a crack, so it's funny you're both on. Conks, you faced Luke Bruce from the Hawks in a toilet paper hacky sack game, a narrow loss. How much practice was involved from your end? Was it a difficult task?
Oh, not too much, to be honest. Yeah, I had a few guys, filmed it, got Annabelle to film But yeah, it was probably more nailing like the wording, the intro, trying to make it kind of funny without looking a bit silly. But yeah, had a few goes at it, and yeah, Luke Bruce, he's a star. What can I say?
Andy, the table tennis showdown for the ages against Angus. You took the chocolates and got the win for us. How was the mood from Angus afterwards?
Well, he's pretty flat. We've been playing ping pong a fair bit, and we've had some really good rallies, like some really close ones. And then when the camera came out, Angus sort of just fell apart. And to be honest, I didn't even think we put on that good of a show, but the Dockers got the win, so I was pretty happy, yeah. But it was pretty fun.
You fumbled under the pressure. Good to see. Now, Reece, we actually pushed this chat an hour or so earlier because you're about to jump into a leadership group meeting. For the fans, what are those meetings like, and the topics of discussion that gets thrown around? Can you tell the fans a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's nothing out of the ordinary. A lot of it's just checking in. Certain leaders will be checking in with individuals more so than others. So just sort of getting a broad overview on how the playing group's going, how they're going with the program and training, and then checking in on where guys might be mental health wise, financially, all those things that everyone's sort of dealing with. And then Belly and JL and Joe Bridie, obviously dealing with certain things, different aspects of the club. They check in, and footy ops and anything footy vision that might be going thrown out, making sure guys are watching that. It could be anything. They usually go for 45 to 60 minutes, and yeah, it's good to see all the guys and check in and have a good chat.
Andy, your dad, Mark Brayshaw, is the CEO of the AFL Coaches Association. Is he just an extremely busy man right now? What are you able to give us a bit of an insight into his role day to day? Is he checking in with the 18 coaches across the AFL? What's he up to?
Yeah, he's using the home study a fair bit. Pretty much on the phone to somebody for most of the day. The door's closed though, so I can't hear too much. But yeah, I assume he's giving everyone a phone call, doing sort of what the leadership group's doing, just checking in on everyone and making sure everything's trying to get back on track and go as smoothly as possible given the situation.
Now, while we are all at home, a point of interest for us has been the home gym setups and the training at home. Kongs, what have you got in the way of equipment, or is it a case of getting creative with different ways to train?
I've got a spare room, which I've set up a couple of yoga mats and some bands, a few little kettlebells and light weights just to get some stuff done. Got a boxing bag out the back, which I've been smacking around a little bit. Rope, I've been getting my Mike Tyson on. And that's about it. The park's not too far, so I go for a run down on the grass and go for a swim at the beach when I can. So it's nothing groundbreaking.
And Andy, how's your setup at home? Are you training with perhaps Angus? And I know some of the other boys are back in Melbourne too. Can you tell us who is back as well?
Yeah, so out of the Dockers, I think myself, Adam Chera, Caleb Sarong, Hayden Young, Lockie Schultz and Lloyd Meek all went back to Victoria to stay with their families, and we're pretty separated, pretty far apart, so we haven't been able to catch up for any kicking, but it sounds like everyone who's come back has either a family member or a friend that they can go and train with, so on that front everyone's looking pretty good. And at my house I've just got pretty bare essentials, just a few bands that I'm hooking up to the pool fence, and just that's about it. A lot of bodyweight stuff, trying to get creative, but I'd much rather have a nice gym, but you got to make do.
You can tell, mate. Withering.
Oh.
Yeah, this used to be tight on me, and now look at it. I know.
Wow. Well, let's jump into some fan questions. There's plenty of quality ones in here, boys. Andy, starting with you. Marion on Facebook asks, who eats the most, you or Angus? I know Angus is living separately from the family home, but how does your mum cope feeding everyone while everyone's back?
No, Mum's always been really good at feeding all the boys. There's always leftovers for the next day. I would say Angus is definitely more of a sweet tooth. So when it comes to dessert, he'll tuck into a bit more than me. But I'd say we're pretty close when it comes to dinner. Yeah.
I'm sure he's just chomping on some onions anyway. He's got plenty of those at his house.
Yeah, true.
Monica on Instagram asks, Reece, will Albus be getting his own Instagram page anytime soon?
Yeah, look, he's been getting a lot of hit ups for that. He's a very popular little pup. Look, it's not something I've ever really wanted to do. Annabelle's been pushing it pretty hard, so at this stage I'm going to say no, but stay tuned because I'm a man that gives the people what they want. So we'll see.
Watch this space. Conks, another one for you. Magnus on Instagram asks, who is the strangest bloke around the club and why is it Cam McCarthy? Looks like they've already made their mind up. It is quite obviously Cam McCarthy, the daddy. We love Cameron, everything that he brings. But yeah, it's just his character, and he loves to sing and dance and dress silly, and it's really not that silly. It's just very unique, isn't it? So we all love him for that. He's a great man. Well, we reposted that video you captured the other day of him on the guitar. Where did that voice come from?
Take a look at me now.
Yeah, he's a man of many talents. He's had a bit of spare time around the club, and he put out a nice little tune for the boys, which was delightful. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm probably from birth. He probably practices it at home. I don't really know.
And Andy, you shook your head when Reece said delightful?
That video, I've seen that video too many times it's just, he's a very funny bloke, but there's actually a few good voices at the club, and I don't reckon Cam's one of them.
Andy, I don't want to raise your brothers again, but a number of comments came in on this topic about trying to convince your brothers, Angus and Hamish, to join the club. What's your response to that?
Look, I'll do my best every year. I try and get them across. But we just got to wait and see what happens.
Maybe 2021. Conks, Jess on Instagram asks, Reece, can you provide your family's secret recipe for chili mussels?
I cannot, hence the secret recipe. I actually know Jess. He's a dear friend of mine. I think he's trying to stitch me up there.
Sorry, Jess. Tyler on Facebook asks, are you guys playing on the consoles much? Andy, any gaming happening at home? And if so, what are you getting around?
Unfortunately, given the circumstances, I was in a bit of a rush to get back to Melbourne before the borders closed. So I didn't pack my PlayStation. And it's really killed me. I had to actually study every day pretty much. So I'm not on any games at the moment, unfortunately.
Oh, big regret, I'm sure. Reece, between TikToking, any time for a bit of gaming?
I haven't owned a gaming console since I was about 15. So
yeah, it sums it up.
Yeah, it does. I'm a bit more cultured, a bit more worldly, like getting around people. So
not for you, Conks. Conks, another one. Kylie on Facebook says her and her son call you Conca the Tonka Truck. She wants to know, do you endorse that? And are there any other nicknames that we don't know about that you go by?
Yeah, it's the Tonka Truck. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't mind. I've sort of fought any nicknames, to be honest. It's I do get Reece a lot, like just straight up formal Reece. I don't know whether that just means people don't like me, or we're just not on we're not on a friendly basis, or
I call you Mike Wazowski, Reece.
Yeah, I get Mike Wazowski a bit because I've got a really short torso, so I have copped that.
Best rig. One of the best rigs I've seen.
You've each had a shot at each other now for the rig, so I think it's only fair. Thank you for that answer, Reece. Now, these last two I'll put to the both of you. Maggie on Instagram asks, in these trying times, what have you learnt about yourselves? Have you learnt that you're a restless human or you need to be occupied, or have you learnt that perhaps isolation is what's suited to you guys? Maybe starting with you, Andy. Have you learnt anything about yourself?
I have, I probably knew this before, but I'm probably someone who thrives off structure. I love having to be somewhere at a certain time and have my days and weeks sorted and planned. So this has been really challenging for me, but I've adjusted slightly, just going with the flow and trying to remain present. And but yes, I'm much more leaning towards a structured lifestyle. That's what I've learned.
Conks, how about yourself?
Yeah, mine's probably more, I didn't quite realise my capabilities about being hands-on with this sort of woodwork stuff and just getting creative. I've pleasantly surprised myself. So, like Andy, I do like structure, and I do like to practice a lot of mindfulness and stuff. So like the isolation hasn't troubled me too much, but I guess just finding other ways to explore time and the ability to keep busy and not wither away into nothing.
Perhaps some woodworking post footy for you, Conks. And there seems to be a new Instagram account. By the looks, it's simply called the Brayshaw Brothers. It looks like it's a bit of a shrine dedicated to you and your brothers, Andy. They asked on our Instagram post about your most awkward fan encounters. Do either of you have one that springs to mind about a fan encounter?
Oh, I've got not really awkward. I actually take it as a bit of a compliment. A lot of the times I'll be walking past a fan and they'll say, like, "Oh, good on you, Ches," or "Well done." I get Adam Chera and Bailey Banfield a lot. They just sometimes mistake me for those two. I'm not sure why, but that's probably the only thing I get every now and again.
Yeah, I don't have anything off the top of my head. I've definitely got some, without sitting here and boring everyone.
No mistaken identities for you, Reece?
No, only with Zach Galifianakis. I get that a lot. But, in terms of players, not really. Nah, it's not, especially with the beard. It's pretty distinctive. But nothing from me.
Alrighty. Well, each week we'll finish off with the final three. I'll put the same three questions to our guest in each and every episode. I'll get you to answer first, Annie, and then over to Conks. Number one, which teammate would be your first choice to spend isolation with and why? And on the flip side, who'd be your last choice?
Okay. My first choice would probably be probably one of my housemates. I'll say Luke. It could have been either Steph or Luke Valenci. Both very fun, funny, but then also work really hard and are dedicated. So they'd be great to live with, even though I'm not with them. But and then the last person I'd pick. Oh, wow. It would probably be a unique experience, but if I was with Cam McCarthy, I don't know how I'd cope. Yeah, don't know how I'd go.
I think I completely understand that. Conks, how about yourself?
The first person I'd get stuck with is probably Travi Collier, dear friend of mine. He's a man of many talents. He's an incredible cook, so I know I'd be eating well. He's very organised, very clean, and trains really hard. So I'd be in a very good space living with Travis. I'm going to say Griff Logue. I love Griff. Again, a very dear friend of mine, but just because he's going to hate me for saying that. So, and I'd actually see him really getting on my nerves. He already FaceTimes me 2 or 3 times a day, and it shits me. So that's what.
Shout out to you, Griff. Hello to you. Number 2. What do you miss the most about not having footy right now? Andy, you talked about structure earlier. Is it camaraderie? Is it just training with the boys? What do you miss the most?
yeah, it's definitely the boys. Yeah, there's nothing like going out, kicking the sharing around with the lads at training or a game day. Yeah, so it's definitely the boys. So I miss them all.
And Reece?
Yeah, mine's the exact same. Yeah, miss the guys incredibly. Just getting around each other every day and the fun that we have at training and working hard together. It's actually interesting. I've had a little think about it. I'm sort of in the back end of my career, so it's just a nice little taste of what post-football career will be like. So I'm sort of getting on the front foot into practicing, communicating via phone and stuff. I've kept in touch with a lot of Richmond teammates as well, which has been good. So yeah, it's a very interesting period, but I miss them very dearly.
And our final question, Andy, your bold prediction for 2020.
My bold prediction is that we will have as close to Christmas as it can be, grand final. It'll be a December granny, I reckon.
Very good. And Reece?
Yeah, I'm going to be a little less optimistic. I'm going to say that we don't get a full season in. It won't be a proper premiership season. It'll be more like a back end of the year sort of carnival round robin sort of style system where we get some games in and fit for, broadcasting and something that'll be maybe like a little competition sort of thing. So that's my gut feel.
There you go. 2 different outlooks. We'll see what happens. That's us for today, boys. Thank you for giving our members and fans a bit of an insight into how you're tracking during this time, and good luck for the coming weeks. That was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure.